Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video about one of my favorite trilogies with one of my favorite actors of all time. Let's not waste any time, so between what I knew and what I did not know, I present to you the trilogy, The Mummy. So I welcome you into my pyramid where you'll learn everything about the mummy. Let's go! So of course, The Mummy is a cult trilogy and I absolutely love this franchise, and I've watched the first movies, I think I was like 7 or 8 years old. Even though it's not exactly suitable, I remember having great memories about it, even though I remember Imhotep scared me quite a lot. I've got them in DVD right there, with The Mummy 1, 2 and then 3. I even think they're on Netflix right now, so if you haven't seen them, of course go watch all 3 of them, and so we can dive right into some anecdotes. So let's go. So number 1, during the filming of The Mummy, they didn't want to go into studios, so they went into practical real places. And it was common for the crew to get bitten by the native spiders and many insects of the region, so they had to get immediate medical attention. And as a result of this, the crew members had to be airlifted by helicopters to the nearest hospital for treatment of bites and stings from scorpions, spiders and even snakes. It was quite a common thing. Now number 2, let's talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Even though at the time he was still a wrestler, he started to create an interest into acting. And his big break came afterwards with The Scorpion King, which was a spin-off of The Mummy. That was the first time he had a leading job in a movie, and he did a fantastic job actually. And actually the studio recognized his potential and offered him $3.5 million. Now number 3, have you heard about the third movie of The Mummy, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor? Well, it was a huge hit, and so people were really excited about having a 4th movie. And even cast members were really excited as well of making a 4th one and expressed their interest in playing a new role in the 4th movie. And there even was a new plan of having a new antagonist, which was supposed to be played by Antonio Banderas in a movie called Rise of the Aztecs. But Universal Studios had even bigger plans in mind. They wanted to create a whole universe of interconnected monster films that was supposed to be called the Dark Universe. So instead of continuing with a sequel, they decided to reboot the franchise. The first movie of this new franchise was 2017's The Mummy, but it didn't go as well as they hoped it would, so they had to delay the Dark Universe. But don't worry, Universal still has hope and has good plans for this universe and isn't giving up on it yet. Now number 4, this can be a pretty common anecdote, even though I had no clue about it. But for the role that Brendan Fraser had in The Mummy, a few actors were considered for the role, like Brad Pitt, Ben Affleck, Matthew McConaughey as well. But actually, Leonardo DiCaprio was pretty interested in the role. But unfortunately for Universal, he had already committed for the role of Danny Boyle's The Beach. Despite DiCaprio's will to do both movies, the producers of the film The Beach didn't want to delay the filming. And so then it went to Brendan Fraser, which of course is an amazing break. As all of these movies I talk about, I think it's always interesting of telling yourself how different the movie would have been with a different actor. It's sure that DiCaprio in the main role would have been a different break. Now number 5, one thing very impressive about the Mummy franchise is that their sets were built all by hand, without relying on computer technology. And the attention to detail really showed. While, of course, some scenes were filmed in indoor sound stages, others were shot in beautiful natural surroundings, even though, as I said before, there were a lot of creatures that may be dangerous for the crew. Now let's get into number 6. So do you know the story behind the Midmore Towers in England? This grand mansion was used for a few parts of the library in The Mummy, and as the O'Connell's estate in The Mummy Returns, the number 2. It's such a cool place that it's actually been used in other movies, as well as The Mummy was also used as Bruce Wayne's mansion in Batman. That's kind of a funny parallel. Now, last but not least, let's get into our 7th anecdote. As the crew of The Mummy faced a lot of injuries and illness, Brendan Fraser, so the actor of Rick O'Connell, actually experienced a pretty scary experience during filming. In a scene where Rick had to be hanged, something went, we can say, terribly wrong. And Brendan Fraser eventually was really hanged and was left unconscious for 80 seconds. Even his co-star Rachel Weisz was quite traumatized by this event. When asked afterwards about that experience by media, Fraser just replied in a very Rick O'Connell manner that I didn't like it and it hurt. Understandable statement, Mr. Fraser. Well, that's it for today. I really hope you like it. I love finding all these anecdotes and I love this franchise, so I wanted to talk about it and share them to you. So I hope you learned a few things. I learned that today we're nearly 50 subscribers on the channel, and I find that really great because I love sharing all these anecdotes to people. And I see that a few of you are staying, so really thank you a lot for everything that you're making me produce and continue this adventure into YouTube anecdotes. I hope to see you very, very soon. In the meantime, have an amazing day. I'm sure you will. I'm going to rewatch all 3 of these movies because it might be like a year I haven't watched them. I've watched The Whale recently with Brendan Fraser, and of course, it's a Renaissance. So of course, go watch all of his movies, support him a lot. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.